Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to have a look at part 2 of chapter 1 of the book My System by Aron Nimzowitsch. In this video we're going to have a look at the center and its demobilizing force, the surrender of the center, pawn hunting in the opening, and when center pawn should be taken. Just a quick update. I'm only emphasizing on the key points on each chapter with some examples. However, I would strongly recommend you to purchase this book for yourself to get a better understanding. The first point is center and its demobilizing force. The example is after e4, e5, d4, e takes d4, we have c3. So here black plays knight f6. The author recommends every beginner should be able to play these kinds of moves to gain experience on the consequence of advancing pawns. As you can see, the e4 pawn now can advance, which will happen now, and now the knight is dislocated. So knight e4, bishop d3 attacking the knight, and here black plays d5. If for some reason they take en passant, then the knight can simply capture the pawn, and after that c takes d4. This is the decent position. White has a center. Now going back to this position here, instead of d5, what happens if black plays knight c5? This is kind of a bad move according to the author because of the following continuation. Now simply the knight is displaced again after the capture, and for example, if the knight captures, the queen captures the knight, and all you can see, the white has a center with the queen developed, whereas black has only just one semi-open file with no pieces developed. The second point is surrender of the center. So here the example is if after e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, we have d4. Here black surrenders the center by capturing the pawn, and after white captures the pawn, here black develops knight f6, and we saw this example earlier. Here the pawn can be pushed. However, in this example, the knight captures on c6, and after b takes c6, we, as you can see, the pawn on e4 is a very dangerous pawn according to the author. And it has to be kept in lock and key because it has the ability to chase off the knights or any other pieces by simply moving forward. The next point is pawn hunting in the opening. So the author does not recommend hunting for pawns in the opening unless you have a very good reason, which we'll be analyzing in the next point. So here the author gives the example of the Evans Gambit, and here it's most likely you should not take this pawn. If you do take this pawn, white will simply have a very good center. As you can see here, even though white is a pawn down, they have a very good center, and the engines give this almost equal even though white is a pawn down. So going back to this position, the possible continuation after the bishop retreats, now white can simply kick this knight off, and if when the knight moves to d4, white can make a mistake here. They can simply hunt for pawns, and if they take the e5 pawn, white is in a lot of trouble immediately. How do you think black should respond? The continuation is queen to g5, and a possible continuation is after the knight forks the queen and the rook. You have queen takes g2. After rook f1 goes to safety, you have this queen takes the pawn on e4, and if the bishop moves to e2, knight f3 is a smothered mate. Now all this was possible because in this position white took the pawn on e5. So be careful when you are taking pawns. Make sure that you have a solid advantage by simply taking the pawn. The final point, the author emphasizes on when you should take the pawn. So the pawn should be taken towards the center. So the possible example here is after e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. We have knight f6 attacking the e4 pawn. However, if here white plays c3, then the e4 pawn is safe to take. The main reason for that is now white does not have any counter attack. And also, Nimzowitsch emphasizes that if you're able to win a pawn in the center and also hold on to that advantage, you have something to talk about. Otherwise, you will have the same scenario as we had in the previous example, which means there will be some sort of a counter attack, especially in the opening, which will either give you a bad position, or even you won't have an advantage by simply taking the pawn. I hope you enjoyed this video. For more videos like this, please like and subscribe, and it's bye for now.